Good morning. Welcome to another daily reading. This is not Genesis. I did that last video too. It's the beginning of Exodus, so I'll get wrapping that around my brain, even though I can see it right in front of me. It's Exodus. Wow, butchered that too. Exodus 4 and Luke 10. I did a little skimming. I really like these both. They're exceptionally well put together. They describe the neighbor in Luke 10. I love it. Anyways, I read from the Institute for Scripture Research, the ISR, because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. Yah is the Elohim of the heavens and of the earth. Yah is the Elohim of the heavens and the earth, the first and the last and the only. And he's an extremely jealous El. He's so jealous that he doesn't even want the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips. Yah is short for YahWeh, YahWeh, Yod-He, Vav-He, Yahuwah. It's like saying Dan, Daniel, Daniel with an E. What is the difference and does matters when people say that Phil, Bob, Sam, and Aaron are the same name when no they're not, and no one in their right mind would ever believe that. And only a fool would believe that a hammer could force its creator to do anything. And Yah is so jealous that he doesn't even want the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips. I can't remember if I just said that, but just going to say it anyways, just to get it out there too. There was no letter J in the Hebrew, Greek, or Aramaic text because the letter J is about 600 years old, while the son of Elohim, Yahushua, the Messiah, sweat blood, was brutally murdered on a stake, spent 3 days in Sha'ul, got resurrected on the third day, and all this for the sins of all of humanity is a good reason not to just bash his name with whatever you want. Especially given that he's an extremely jealous Elohim. And a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Yeshua is short for Yahoshua, which is Joshua, not Jesus. Jesus is Greek for Hail Zeus, so it has nothing to do with the Messiah. And the son of Elohim's name, Yahoshua, means Yah is salvation. Yah will save his people from their sins. The name of the Father is in the name of the Son. There's only one God. Okay, there is only one God, and that is the pagan idol of fortune. YahWeh, Yahuwah, is the creator of the heavens and the earth, not some measly idol. Don't turn his name into nothing. Trust me, he tells you that. Over 7,000 or over 6,000 times does he say his name matters. He says that. You're calling him a liar, not me. Exodus 4. And Moshe, Mosheh, answered and said, and if they do not believe me, nor listen to my voice and say, YahWeh has not appeared to you, and YahWeh said to him, What is that in your hand? And he answered, A rod, or a staff. And he said, Throw it on the ground. So he threw it on the ground, and it became a serpent, and Moshe fled from it. And YahWeh said to Moshe, Reach out your hand and seize it by the tail. So he reached out his hand and took hold of it, and it became a rod in his hand, so that they believe that YahWeh, Elohim of their fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, A-B with a line underneath of it, R-A-H-A-M, the Elohim of Yitzhak, Y-I-T-S-H with a dot, A-Q, and the Elohim of Jacob, which is James, Y-A-A-Q-O-B with a line underneath of it, has appeared to you. And YahWeh said to him again, Now put your hand in your bosom. And he put his hand in his bosom, and when he took it out, and see, his hand was leprous like snow. That's crazy. And he said, Put your hand in your bosom again. So he put his hand in his bosom again, and drew it out of his bosom, and see, it was restored like his other flesh. Pretty sure your bosom is just your lap. So between your legs, like if you stuck your hand like between your legs, just above your knees, and pull your hand out. Like your whole hand would fit in that position. It just makes sense. So he put his hand in his bosom again, and drew it out of his bosom, and see, it was restored like his other flesh. And it shall be, if they do not believe you, nor listen to the voice of the first sign, they shall believe the voice of the later sign. And it shall be, if they do not believe even these two signs, or listen to your voice, that you shall take water from the river, and pour it on the dry land, and the water which you take from the river shall become blood on the dry land. And Moshe said to Yahweh, O Yahweh, I am not a man of words, neither before nor since you have spoken to your servant, for I am slow of speech and slow of tongue. So not only is he really slow, he's not good with words, and he's extremely shy. Yet Yahweh chose him anyways. HalleluYah. And Yahweh said to him, Who has made man's mouth, or who makes dumb, or deaf, or seen, or blind? Is it not I, Yahweh? And now go, and I shall be with your mouth, and teach you what to say. But he said, O Yahweh, please send by the hand of him whom you would send. And the displeasure of Yahweh burned against Moshe, and he said, Is not Aaron, Ahron, the Levite, L-E with a half a check mark, W-I-T-E, the Levite, your brother? I know that he speaks well, and see, he is also coming out to meet you. And when he sees you, he shall be glad in his heart, and you shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth. And I am with your mouth and with his mouth, and I shall teach you what to do. And he shall speak for you to the people, and it shall be that he shall be a mouth for you, and you shall be an Elohim for him, a lowercase Elohim, because Yahweh is going to speak the words to Moshe, and Moshe is going to speak the words to Aaron. So Moshe is basically the Elohim for speaking for Aaron to speak, because he's too shy to say it himself, but he's getting the words from Yahweh. It's no different to Yahshua Messiah coming and speaking the words of the Father, only it was still a capital E, because Elohim is plural for mighty ones. Capital E, capital M, capital O. Lowercase e, lowercase m, lowercase o. Anyways. And take this rod in your hand with which you shall do the signs. Then Moshe went and returned to Yether, Y-E-T-H-E-R. Excuse me. Yether, a title meaning excellency. Yether, his father-in-law, and said to him, Please let me go and return to my brothers who are in Mitzrayim, Egypt, M-I-T-S-R-A-Y-I-M, to see whether they are still alive. And Yithro, Y-I-T-H-R-O, which is a title meaning His Excellency. So excellency and His Excellency. And Yithro said to Moshe, Go in peace. And Yahweh said to Moshe in Midian, M-I-D with a line underneath of it, Y-A-N, Go, return to Mitzrayim, for all the men are dead who sought your life. So Moshe took his wife and his sons and set them on a donkey, and he returned to the land of Mitzrayim. And Moshe took the rod of Elohim in his hand, and Yahweh said to Moshe, As you go back to Mitzrayim, see that you do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in your hand. But I am going to strengthen his heart so that he does not let the people go. I just want to point out that Pharaoh strengthened his own heart the first 3 times. And you shall say to Pharaoh, Thus said Yahweh, Yisrael, Y-I-S-R-A'_E-L, is my son, my firstborn. So I say to you, let my son go to serve me. But if you refuse to let him go, see, I am killing your son, your firstborn. Obviously, that was the very last thing that happened. And it came to be on the way in the lodging place that YahWeh met him and sought to kill him. And Sipporah, Tspipporah, took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and threw it at his feet and said, You are indeed a bridegroom of blood to me. So he let him go. Then she said, You are a bridegroom of blood because of the circumcision. And YahWeh said to Aaron, Go to meet Moshe in the wilderness. And he went and met him on the mountain of Elohim and kissed him. And Moshe then told Aaron all the words of YahWeh who had sent him and all the signs which he had commanded him. And Moshe went with Aaron and gathered together all the elders of the children of Israel. And Aaron spoke all the words which YahWeh had spoken to Moshe. Then he did the signs before the eyes of the people. And the people believed, and they heard that YahWeh had visited the children of Israel, and that he had looked on their affliction. And they bowed their heads and did obeisance. So very well, obedience. Very strong obedience. Luke 10. And after this, the master, Yahushua Messiah, the master appointed 70 others and sent them 2 by 2 ahead of him into every city and place where he himself was about to go. Then he said to them, The harvest indeed is great, but the workers are few. Therefore pray the master of the harvest to send out workers into his harvest. Okay, so the master isn't Yahushua in this context, it's YahWeh, Yahuwah. By the way, I just prefer to say YahWeh, but YahWeh, Yahuwah. People are fighting over the wrong things. Go see, I send you out as lambs into the midst of wolves. Do not take a purse or a bag or sandals, and greet no one along the way. And whatever house you enter first, say peace to this house. And if indeed a son of peace is there, your peace shall rest on it, and if not, it shall return to you. And stay in the same house, eating and drinking whatever with them, for the laborer is worthy of his wages. Do not move from house to house. Also, do not allow the world to judge you on respecting the Torah. That is a very key point. And they didn't say food because it would have been in fancy English describing what the Torah says is food. And if you know, like if you don't know that you've just eaten one of the abominations, then it's okay. But if you know and you eat it, then it's not okay. It's all about the accountability. And into whatever city you enter, and they receive you, eat whatever is placed before you, and heal the sick there, and say to them, The reign of Elohim has come near to you. And into whatever city you enter, and they do not receive you, go out into its streets and say, Even the dust of your city which clings to us we wipe off against you. But know this, that the reign of Elohim has come near to you. And I say to you that it shall be more bearable for Sodom, S-E-D with a line underneath of it, O-M, in that day, judgment day, than for that city. Woe to you, Chorazin, K-O-R-A-Z-I-N. Woe to you, Bethsaida, B-E with a half a check mark, Y-T-H, Saida is T-S-A-I-D with a line underneath of it, A. For if the miracles which were done in you had been done in Sor, Tsor, and Sidon, Tsid with a line underneath of it, On, they would have repented long ago, sitting in sackcloth and ashes, but it shall be more bearable for Sor and Sidon at the judgment than for you. And you, Kêpha Nahum, Kephar, Nahum is Nah with a dot, you are exalted in the heaven, shall be brought down to Sheol, She'ol, place of the dead. He who hears you hears me. He who rejects you rejects me. And he who rejects me rejects him who sent me. And the 70 returned with joy, saying, Master, even the demons are subject to us in your name. And he said to them, I saw Satan falling out of the heaven as lightning. See, I give you the authority to trample on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and none at all shall hurt you. But do not rejoice in this, that the spirits are subject to you, but rather rejoice because your names have been written in the heavens. In that hour Yahushua exalted in the Spirit and said, I praise you, Father, Master of the heaven and of the earth, that you have hidden these matters from clever and learned ones, and did reveal them to babes. Yes, Father, because thus it was well pleasing in your sight. All has been delivered to me by my Father, and no one knows who the Son is except the Father, and who the Father is except the Son, and he to whom the Son wishes to reveal him. Fancy English him, talking about YahWeh, Yahuwah. And turning to his taught ones, he said separately, Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I say to you that many prophets and sovereigns have wished to see what you see, and have not seen it, and to hear what you hear, and have not heard it. I mean, you might hear it, but you might not understand what's being said, so you didn't actually hear it. And you can see something, but not understand what you're seeing, so you really didn't see anything. So you don't know what you saw. And see, a certain one learned in the Torah stood up, trying him, and saying, Teacher, what shall I do to inherit everlasting life? And he said to him, What has been written in the Torah, how do you read it? And he answering said, You shall love YahWeh your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. And he said to him, You have answered rightly. Do this, and you shall live. But he, wishing to declare himself righteous, said to Yahushua, And who is my neighbor? And replying, Yahushua said, A certain man was going down from Jerusalem, which is Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, to Jericho, Yerih with a dot O, which is Jericho, and fell among robbers, who both stripping and beating him went away, leaving him half dead. And by a coincidence a certain priest was going down that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side, and likewise a Levite. So a Levite also, when he came to the place, and seeing, passed by on the other side. But a certain Shomeroni, Shomeroni, journeying, came upon him, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and he went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine, and having placed him on his own beast, he brought him to an inn and looked after him, and going out on the next day, he took out 2 denarii, denarii, which is a Roman monetary unit, gave them to the innkeeper, and said to him, Look after him, and whatever more you spend I shall repay you when I return. Who then of these 3 do you think was neighbor to him who fell among the robbers?
And he said, He who showed compassion on him. Then Yahushua said to him, Go and do likewise. And it came to be as they went that he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha, Martha, received him into her house, and she had a sister called Miriam, Miryam, who also sat at the feet of Yahushua and heard his word. But Martha was distracted with much serving, and coming up, she said, Master, are you not concerned that my sister has left me to serve alone? Speak to her then to help me. And Yahushua answering said to her, Martha, Martha, are you worried and troubled about many matters? But one only is necessary, and Miriam has chosen the good portion, which shall not be taken away from her, aka salvation. She chose salvation, while the other one chose to serve. And just serve without salvation. That was a good daily reading. Get some words out today. Hallelujah.